Are you having trouble letting go when someone does you wrong? Just decide I cannot forgive them. It's not happening. How could they do that? Never, never forgive.
I know this is hard, y'all. I know sometimes it is downright impossible. I'm not going to forgive you. I hear you. But here in episode 47, I'm going to give you a new perspective on this to help you understand not just why you should forgive, we hear that all the time, but how you can actually do it.
I'm Simone, she's TSED. I'm Simone, she's TSED. I'm Simone, they call me TSED. Like that. I'm Simone, she's TSED. I'm Simone, she's TSED. I'm Simone, they call me TSED. Like that.
All right, y'all, let's get into it. I know you think I'm about to tell you some kind of a miracle because you're sitting there saying to yourself, I'm never going to forgive this, so I don't care what you say. And you know what? All of us are different and every situation is different. There are certain levels of trauma and certain levels of adversity that some of us go through that, you know what? You need a little bit more help to forgive. If that is your case, please feel free to talk to your mental health professional, your doctor, your psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist, counselor, coach, whoever you've got on your team to help you work through it. But for those of us who are in a situation where it's something that maybe we could forgive, but we're just really having a hard time, this one is for you. Now, for us to understand this one, we've got to get into some neuro-linguistic programming concepts. Y'all remember that, right? I'm trained in neuro-linguistic programming. And one of the concepts that we use, it's actually called a presupposition, right? Is that we separate people from their behaviors. Now, if you're wondering why I'm bringing this up now, you see what had happened was I was talking at a school the other day and I had a group of parents and teachers too. And I ended up talking to them about the ability that we have to separate people from their behaviors. Now, here's what this means. If somebody's consistently behaving horribly, bad, negative, making terrible choices, or doing things that you got to keep forgiving, one way we can help ourselves to get there is to remember this presupposition of NLP, which is separate people from their behaviors. So what does that even mean? I personally like to take it to a little bit more of a divine space for this one, recognizing that each of us as an individual, we're really divine beings. And as this divine being, we're whole and wonderful and beautiful and perfect and, well, divine. And then attached to that being that we are these behaviors that we choose. And now sometimes those behaviors we choose are great, and sometimes those behaviors they choose, let's say, they require some forgiveness. So sure, I was talking to parents and teachers at that particular talk, but this is for everyone, every single human being. If you can understand that your beingness is essentially good, and it's the behaviors that we're attaching, those thoughts, those feelings, those beliefs that become behaviors, then we have a better chance of changing those behaviors. And if we believe our behaviors can change, it puts us in a better position to actually forgive ourselves and others. So let me break it down. Once I decide, listen, this person is just a bad person. That is it. There's nothing else to it. They are just bad. Well, there really is no hope for change from that place, right? Let's remember that even if somebody can't change, won't change, will never, ever, ever choose to change, it's still not up to us to hold on to that pain. Because forgiveness, as people always tell us, is not really about the other person. I know, I've been in your shoes, y'all. Where do you think I got this from? So yes, there's going to be some times where like, no, you don't deserve my forgiveness. And you know what? Some days I might be like, honey, you're right. Okay. But then I got to put my NLP practitioner hat back on and say, but wait, when you are in a place of unforgiveness, or you're in a place of anger, or you're in a place of resentment and rage, you're in that place. So someone else did the thing and you are carrying the negative emotion. That ain't fair. And that's why I say forgiveness is really for us. Why do I have to carry around all this baggage because you didn't know how to act? You follow along what I'm saying? So yeah, sometimes forgiveness is tough, but at the end of the day, it's really about what is the energy that we are carrying in our bodies all the time. Are we in fight mode, defensive, enraged, angry, run away, get away from me, fight, flight, freeze? Where are we in our emotional disposition? If we're in a place where we are terrified and angry and don't want to be hurt again and constantly protected and guarded, I'm the one feeling that pain. So forgiveness is my freedom, my path to get out of that jail for free. All right, y'all. So you see, I'm getting passionate. Let me break this down. Self-esteem is about the way we are thinking and feeling about ourselves, about others, about our lives. And if those thoughts are constantly revolving around a negative place because of something someone else did, that affects us. And remember, I didn't say this is a one size fits all. You know, I don't believe in a one size fits all. But for those cases where it's appropriate, we really want to be able to get ourselves in a state to forgive. So here's how you do it. Step 1, remember to separate people from their behaviors. That means you recognize that there's a divine being in there somewhere, but in this human form, they're making some crazy decisions and some crazy choices that are not working out well for you. Once you recognize that there's a divine being in there somewhere, now you can unlock compassion for the divine being. I can absolutely dislike and not tolerate your choices and your behavior and still say there's a being in there who deserves some type of love. Is this making sense to y'all? Here's the word that made the most sense to me when I was wrapping my head around this in my own journey in forgiving people in my life. Yeah, it happened to me. Where do you think I get this stuff from? Okay, focus. When I was working on this for me, I realized the word I was looking for was compassion. So maybe I'm not loving what you're doing, and maybe I don't even feel like I like you in this particular moment, but I can have compassion for the essence of who you are, that divine being that you originated as. And when I can find compassion for that being, then I can start to separate and say, you know what, you're making some crazy choices. Maybe you're going to stay in my life. Maybe you're not. Maybe I'm going to completely forgive you and re-embrace you, or I'm going to forgive you and let you go. But at the end of the day, I'm letting go of all this negative emotion inside of me through that path called compassion. And that's how I did it, y'all. I made sure I reconstructed that picture in my mind to say, I'm not forgiving your awful behavior or forgiving this negative thing you did or giving you a pass or making you win in a situation where you wronged me. I'm simply choosing your divine being and my divine being and choosing to live in as much peace as I can, because at the end of the day, it affects me. And if you're doing the wrong thing, why do I got to pay for it? I want to be someone who's compassionate and someone who lives in joy, regardless of what your choices are. Those are mine. All right, y'all. I hope that helped. Yeah, I'm going to play that one again. Share it with your friends. Make sure that you utilize these tools, because being able to forgive is a journey for you. It's a part of your self-esteem and your mindset. Not only does it free you from this jail of anger and negative emotion, but it also opens the door for you to give others second chances. Come on now. Y'all know that as we get closer to people, our friends, our family, all these people that are in our lives, sometimes we may step on each other's toes. And to be able to forgive in those light circumstances is really essential for us to move forward without resentment, without negative emotion, and still build really meaningful relationships in our lives. Remember, if you've got something more serious than that going on, reach out to your mental health provider. Don't be afraid to get that help and to get some coaching through that process. In the meantime, make sure you jump on the Academy, because y'all know I got resources. Jump in that free library. If you have not gotten to that free library, then I don't know what to say, because we've got all kinds of tools, resources, free apps, free journals, free downloads. So I'm going to make sure I link the free library right here in this description so you can jump on it. And in the meantime, keep an eye out for me next Sunday, because I'll be right back. I'll be right here. Yes, I will. Bye.
She's TSED. I'm Simone. She's TSED.